Greetings. The original Half-Life game is regarded by many as one of the greatest video games of all time. Because of how innovative the game was and how many new concepts and ideas it introduced, you could easily argue that modern first-person shooters wouldn't be nearly as good as they are if not for Half-Life. I personally believe one of the best aspects of the game is how well it aged. The gameplay is great, the AI is super impressive, for the time, and the story is just incredible. But one thing that understandably doesn't look great is the graphics. And don't get me wrong, it looks super impressive for the time, but up to today's standards, it's not that great. So what would happen if you completely switched rendering engines of the game from some outdated lighting engine from 1998 to the pinnacle of modern graphical fidelity? Well, you'd get this. Half-Life Ray Traced is a mod that, as the name suggests, adds real-time path tracing to the game. Adding fancy lighting technology to old games is not a new idea by any means, but I believe Half-Life Ray Traced is the most surreal one. There's something really weird about seeing models from the 90s right next to really good lighting, and it's a really weird feeling that you can't describe really unless you play it yourself. So, that's exactly what I did. After having played the mod, I'm going to be talking about some things I liked the most, and just my overall thoughts on it. Let's begin. One of the first things I noticed on my playthrough of the mod was the reflection and refraction technologies used on the different glass objects. It looks really nice in my opinion, and it must be a hard feat to pull off technologically. The game looks impressive and pretty standard for most of the first two chapters, but I would say the resonance cascade part is really where the impressive ray tracing is really displayed. This might also be a good time to mention that this game has an assigned key to switch between rendering engines on the fly, which I think is really neat for comparisons and is something I think other remasters like Portal RTX and Quake 2 RTX missed out on. The combat and gameplay remain relatively untouched, although the developer added a few glow sticks in some dark areas to show off the ray tracing and also make it easier to see, which I think is a pretty great addition. Zen, which is made fun of for being the game's ugliest section, both gameplay and aesthetic-wise, now looks slightly better? I don't know. Definitely not as big as an upgrade as Black Mesa's version, but it is cool seeing it with ray tracing nonetheless. In conclusion, is Half-Life Ray Traced a cool mod? Well, yes, it absolutely is. If you're a Half-Life fan, I highly recommend checking it out and giving it a try. To my knowledge, it runs pretty well on most computers, aside from, well, something I know. If you have any video ideas, feel free to drop them down in the comment section, and I may get around to making them. No promises though, as I'm still getting the hang of content creation. Anyways, I'm Nick from the Corrosion channel, and I'd like to thank you for watching. See ya.